everybody. Welcome. I'm Howie Howard from Mr. Furious Records. Today on Dat Fury Radio, returning guest Matt Tate is here. We're going to listen to some new music of mine and some new and old music of his. What's going on, Matt?
Not much, really. I'm all right.
Quiet night in Sheffield?
Yeah, now the World Cup's over, having to go back to watching traditional telly, you know, so... but yeah, it's all...
What do you like to watch?
Oh, it's quite shameful, but tonight we started watching a new series of Below Deck.
Okay.
Because we're up to the last episode of the last series of The Bear, but that's a long one, so we didn't have time to watch that, so we'll watch that tomorrow maybe. Gotcha.
Last night I started I'm a giant Star Trek nerd, and last night I started rewatching Strange New Worlds season 3 because the first episode of season 4 comes out on Thursday. So I'll keep that rewatch going tonight.
Yeah, I wish I'd done that with like the House of the Dragon came out. The new series of House of the Dragon came out, and I jumped straight into that, and it's like I'd forgot who everyone was and where they were and what they were doing. So it's a good idea to catch up.
Yeah. And now you've got a perfect reason to. Well, I am putting out a record. Let's see. I believe today, as this podcast will release, we're recording about a week ahead of time. It's called Brother of Aether. And it's a solo night mode, kind of one synthesizer record in the mode of Only Mostly Dead that I did with the MS-20 and Continuing Worlds that I did with the Akai AX60. This is another kind of in that tradition. I recorded it last summer, intending to do a quick release, right? Like low-key recording, and the recording went off... well, but then now it's taken me a year to get it out. So let me get some music going. I brought actually the instruments that I use, so I can do some show and tell, and I'll talk a little bit about the history, but you know, kind of what the concept was to the extent that there was one. But here is Dark Regions from the new album Brother of Aether, out now at nightmode.bandcamp.com. So here's like the heart of this. For the YouTube viewers, I'm holding up a small analog synthesizer. It's the Dreadbox Erebus reissue. And I got this with the intention of it being kind of the heart of a Eurorack system. I got all excited about, you know, 2 oscillators and all the stuff that was built in. It sounded great in the demos, and it does sound great. But I thought I was kind of getting like almost 2 synths, in part because I misunderstood the patch bay. It's got this triangle logo that to me looked like an arrow pointing in, and it's not that. It's a broadcast pointing out.
Okay.
So I misunderstood the patch bay and thought that I could do a lot more. I could almost get 2 voices out of it. And it doesn't really do that. And it took me a while to kind of reconfigure my brain around treating it as a monosynth and deciding what I wanted to do with it and just taking it for what it is as a monosynth. It also, there are some features that don't work over CV that only work via MIDI.
Okay.
On the list, like the glide and a couple other things, and on paper that did not seem like a big deal to me, but once I got my hands on it, I vastly preferred controlling it via MIDI and not CV. So it is really a desktop synth in my mind. Pause. Were you gonna say something? Pause for questions.
Well, I guess I had one of the original Erebuses twice, so I'm familiar with it as a synth. And I did see the name of it somewhere in the folder structure of what I downloaded to listen to, so I was like, I wonder if that's what this is.
It's nothing but this. It is Erebus, every track, 1 pass, no edits, and I guess this is kind of getting back into the concept if there is one, but the jams were composed and recorded in one session, and then I never touched them again. I mean, there was some mixing and stuff, but and that's how I like making records that way. That's how I made Only Mostly Dead, and I've made other projects that way too. So yeah, to continue with the show and tell, I controlled it with a real basic key step, very common MIDI controller. With some, I do like the expression, the touch wheel, air quotes on wheel, and the modulation touch thing. But I added a little custom gear to it. So this, I'm holding up now a small, it's like an 8 HP Eurorack module that's just loose. It's got a second plate as the back of the case.
Oh.
And this is a totally passive mixer. I use it as a CV mixer, right? So it's got, but everything is linked. So it's got 4 inputs and 3 outputs in between them. Each input has an attenuator, and then each output has a balance control for the neighboring inputs. But they're all tied in a line, so every input is present at every output in decreasing amounts as you physically move away from the input. So most of my patches would start by figuring out the modulation setup and like which modulation signals I wanted neighboring each other so I could kind of pan between them. But I loved how combining 4 modulation sources, it kind of made the whole thing like feel more alive and like reactive, and it wasn't just one source controlling one parameter. It was all jumbled up in a way that I really enjoyed. And I'll get one more song going here, but I've got one more piece of custom gear. Where's my...
That's a really smart way of getting a lot more modulation just out of the Erebus, isn't it? It's like...
Yeah, there's got to be a name for this. I don't know if you've seen anybody do this before. In my head, I called it a cascade mixer because every input like cascades to every output, but I don't know. It's just like, I think I use 10K pots for everything, and it's nothing but the jacks and the pots. If anyone wants to like build one of these, it's dead simple.
Wow.
And really, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this, and we'll use it on other stuff in the future. The other thing I did is I built this, I'm holding up now a similar type of item. It's constructed a lot the same. This is a passive diode bridge compressor, modeled off of one that used to go in automobiles for the radio to keep it at a consistent kind of level. So it's a pretty like slow time constant compressor.
Ah.
But and then I did I breadboarded that and then developed it further and tweaked it. And it's the same core, but I added a bypass switch so you can A/B compressed and uncompressed. And I added a switch so you can just monitor the sidechain so you can actually hear what the compressor is doing, which is really, it's tough to dial in because I mean, it's dirty, but it's not, those time constants are so slow and the knee is so wide that it's kind of hard to hear what it's doing when it's doing it. So the sidechain monitor was really handy to help me dial it in. But yeah, so everything went through this with pretty heavy compression from this. And then I just captured it on a SP404 just as a literal mono recorder.
Wow.
And that was the rig. Took a couple, 3-4 weeks to just have a jam, several nights a week and took the best ones, and that's the record.
That's really cool. Some of this tracks you've got like such different sounds that I assumed you must have been layering or overdubbing or something going on.
No, you can do a little sound on sound. So there are times where the oscillators, it's kind of, you can do kind of a duophonic thing. Maybe you did that with your Erebus. And then, heavy delay, right?
Yeah.
Or the key step will, you can have a sequence or an arpeggio and also play over it, which ties into the duophonic thing. But yeah, you can kind of get a 2-voice thing out of it. But, same filter, same amp.
I think that's nice, isn't it, to try and squeeze as much possible as you can out of one thing, like.
Yeah, I love doing that, and it really helps me. I just like to learn by recording, and I don't do a lot of playing without recording, because if I do something I like, I'm gonna want to have it recorded. So, I learned these instruments by making records with them a lot, and then they become kind of part of the studio arsenal that I can pull off the shelf when I want something specific. And I've learned the instrument, I think, fairly well, at least for my purposes, that I know, I want this type of sound. I can get down the MS-20, or I can get out the Erebus or whatever, or kind of go directly to what I'm after then once I've learned it.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
Sounds efficient, I guess, as well. You know what you want and you can go to it when you need it.
Yeah, there's a big inefficiency on the front end, depending on how you look at it, but I also, and this is something, like, I'm going through this right now, I'm working on raw material for a Dharmic Beams record, which is a project I have with my friend Daniel. But because, and this kind of connects to your process too, of like doing a lot of listening, I do that with stuff I'm working on. If it's not this kind of in the moment synth stuff, I do tend to have a long process with a lot of listening like you, and so I have a lot of time, and it takes me a lot of time to think, like, well, what is the next sound need to be? If it needs to be a pad, like, which instrument has the right kind of texture? Or if it needs to be a single note kind of melody or lead thing, like, is it a synth, or is it a guitar, or is it a voice? And depending on which answer I arrive at there, like, well, which guitar pedals, or which synthesizer, or what vocal effects. So that listening is a big part of the process. I guess I'm saying it takes a long time for me to imagine what the next layer needs to be when I'm layering stuff.
Yeah, I think that's fine, isn't it? You know, if it works for you.
Yeah. I think it goes well with being a musician in the spare time, because I don't do 8-hour sessions. I do 1 or 2 hour sessions, so I'm only getting like one thing done at a time. So it is nice to have something in mind that I want to accomplish. Do you want to talk about your rig these days now, or should we save that for the next episode?
If you're happy to listen, I will talk endlessly about it.
All right.
I know last time I said I had those 2 little synths and I was going to learn them and master them, but actually I got rid of them. I'm doing something different now. So,
those were the Sonicware ones, right?
Yeah, little Sonicware boxes. I got annoyed with them. So I've just gone back to having a bigger poly synth, you know, to just play big chords. And I've got a controller keyboard it's like a Novation 49 SL Mark III or something, so it's got like a rudimentary sequencer in it. And more importantly, you can split the keyboard, you know, and you can have different proportions of the sounds in places. So I'm just back to doing big chords at the minute.
I love your big chords. What's the polysynth?
It is a Korg Modwave. I got the module one, so it doesn't have the keyboard. It's part wavetable, part Rompler, I guess. So you can have like actual samples of a trumpet or, you know, choral vocal samples, which I really like. So it seemed like a good way to get those.
Is that the one with the joystick? And like the 4
it's
layers?
Got a little chaos pad.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe like the Wave State or something has a joystick.
Yeah, that's it.
They're all in the same box, but they've got different little tweaks, haven't they? And
yeah.
So I stuck with that for a while now, and that's been good. I've not recorded anything new with that, because over the summer I've been doing a lot of... Me and my collaborator in Toblerdrone have been quite busy. We've had a few gigs and stuff, so... I
don't know if I know about Toblerdrone.
I got a friend called James, and when we play together, we play under the name Toblerdrone, which is a pun on Toblerone, because the first gig we were going to perform together was supposed to be a drone gig. I thought we needed a name, and that seemed like the best pun I could come up with, so I committed to it. And then when we got to the gig, it wasn't really a drone gig as I would understand it, so but we've stuck with it.
Stuck out the name, yeah.
I've also made like half an hour's worth of animations in Blender that all feature Toblerones, because it's quite an iconic shape.
Yeah.
So,
it's kind of the pyramid candy bar, right?
Yeah, that's the one. So I've made all these animations now, so I'm even more reluctant to ditch the name for a better one. But I think we've played maybe 5 gigs this year together.
Nice.
Which is a lot for me.
Yeah. I think you really have a hook there. I never would have thought of like mashing up Toblerone and like occult stuff, but you could the pyramid kind of unlocks a lot of interesting juxtapositions that you can do visually.
Yeah, I think I just Well, most of the videos I did are just like boneheaded visual puns as well. So, and just whatever I could accomplish in Blender, because I love the program, but it's impossible to learn, I think. There's so much going on that I've been trying it for 10 or 15 years, and I can still only do little bits that I need to watch tutorials to relearn how to do. So yeah, they've got incrementally better each time I do a little batch. But yeah, in Toblerdrone, I play big chords, and my friend plays his modular synth. And we change what we do depending on where we're playing. Like if someone wants a more ambient set, we won't have any beats or whatever. But if it's somewhere where it's going to be a bit livelier and they want actual music, then we have the capability of putting beats in and making it a bit more like normal music, I guess.
Yeah. That sounds really productive and cool.
I think so. I guess I find the collaboration aspect a bit tricky sometimes, because it's like I can't do exactly what I want to do when I want to do it, but I think that's a good thing to learn to be better at.
And you always have solo stuff where you can do whatever you want, so yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And also for Toblerdrone, I hosted my first gig, so I booked the venue, did the promo, liaised with the different artists that were going to play. So that was quite fun to get to do. Although it was quite hard to like corral the artists into communicating. And I got a text 2 hours before the show from the guy who was met a headline, and he was like, I'm in Belgium. I don't think I'm going to make it to the gig. It's like, I don't think you're going to make it to the gig either,
And they would have known at least a few hours before then. I don't know how long Belgium to Sheffield is, but it's not 2 hours.
No. Well, the night before I saw their Instagram story saying, like, I'm playing a DJ set at this park in Belgium. So I didn't really sleep that night because I was like, I hope they're going to make it back. But it was a really good learning experience. And I think we're going to try and do more, so that's exciting. Because it's nice to be able to approach other artists in the Sheffield scene that I like and would like to hear play to come and play, Some people disappear for a bit before you see them about, so.
A scene is everything. The music we're listening to now is very different than the scene I grew up in, but like, so that would be like Lincoln and Omaha, Nebraska in the 90s, and that shaped everything for me. And that was largely influenced, like my corner of it was largely influenced by the legendary Washington, D.C. hardcore punk scene and like Bad Brains and Fugazi. And so those are like the values that I inherited as far as independent music goes,
Yeah. Well, DIY stuff's just great. I love it. And it's nice to be finally making inroads in it, to get to be known in the community and to help out, I'm doing photography nowadays as well. So when I can, I'm doing gig photography. And, because it's nice for people to have good pictures, isn't it? So, and it's a good way for me to network with people.
Man, you're just crushing it. I'm glad we're talking. So much has happened.
I'm trying. I feel like it's going very well for me lately in an artistic sense.
All right, I'm looking up your first appearance on the show. It was... Where's the details?
Like September, October last year or something.
May.
This year?
No, May of 25.
Time's a mystery.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and that's even, I don't know how far ahead we recorded. That's when it came out. So we might have recorded in April.
That was a really fun experience for me. Like,
I'm happy to hear that.
You just release this stuff on Bandcamp, and like, you know, I get an email every month saying like, you've had a great June, 2 people have listened to your music. So it's nice that it actually gets out and finds its way to people. So.
Yeah. And the nice thing about Bandcamp is that you can trust that those 2 people are real. But it's always nice to hear from somebody, whether it's an email or talking to a friend or whatever, but it's more than just a number on a screen, right? Like, let me get philosophical for a second, but like, I don't believe there's any number on any screen that would provide actual like fulfillment to an artist. You know what I mean? It could be 1 billion, but if no one can talk to you about your project, like, what does it even mean?
Yeah, it's very true. I think if I got 1 billion likes on anything on the internet, I'd just be terrified. I wouldn't know what to do with it.
It'd be weird for sure.
But yeah, connecting with people is what it's all about, innit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
More so than numbers.
I haven't talked much about these songs, and that's okay, but I'm just remembering, like, listening to the end of this one, this is Personification of Earth. I'm remembering that I discovered it's not really it's a compositional trick more than a key step trick, but I would have these phrases I wanted to put in as sequences, but with like different note lengths, right? Which it doesn't really do. There's not like timing per, you can do rest, but there's not like timing per note or gate length per note. So what I would do is I would just double or triple the number of steps in my sequence to where like a note, air quotes, would be 2 or 3 notes, and I'd tie them together. So like your normal length note might be, by normal I mean like the most common note length in my sequence might actually be 3 steps tied together. And then I would have the freedom that some could be 2 or 1 or 6 tied together, or, you know, so I could get that more human-ish kind of melodic expression out of the key step. So that's a fun trick that anybody can take and run with. This is
Did they release a... Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're gonna say, did they do a new one? Yeah, they just did a new one.
Because like the key step is just a pure sequencer, isn't it? There's no like mutate or whatever.
That's right, yeah.
That's more like in the Key Step Pro or something.
Yeah, Key Step Mark II, which I think has that, it's the same kind of form factor, but I think it has some of that mutate stuff from, oh, what's the cute little like dark blue one with the capacitive keyboard?
Micro Freak?
Yeah.
Mini Freak?
One of those.
One of those two.
I think Micro is the smaller one, and the Mini is like the 37 or 49 key mini key. But yeah, so I don't have any of that line of stuff, the Freak line or the Mark II controllers, but I'm super interested in those generative mutate type of controls, and it's, from all the appearances that I've seen, it looks like they've done a really smart and musical job of adding that stuff.
I had a Mini Freak for a little bit of time, and like I enjoyed the sound engine and I thought the sequencing was good, but like I wanted full-size keys, so I let it go.
Does it have any more voices than the Micro Freak? Or is the voice count the same?
Yeah, it was polyphonic, so you could do maybe it was 8 voice or something.
Okay.
So you could get decent sized chords going.
Yeah, I think the small one is maybe 4 voices. Yeah, there isn't like a rack version of that, is there? It's only the key versions.
I believe so. I did buy a mini brute, like one of the analog ones, because I saw a post on Reddit of someone that was like, you can really easily just take the keyboard off and have a little module.
Sure.
So I did that, and then I've not used it much.
Do you
I've got it ready to go?
There you go. Do you put something else in the space where the keyboard was, or like what do you? Or you just tuck the whole instrument away somewhere so you don't have it taking up desk space?
I just put it in a little pine box that I made, but the keyboard's just a completely separate bit, really. So it's very, very easy. It's just one ribbon connector that you pull out, and then it's done. So nice.
So the main board then is like you can shrink the footprint by taking the keys out and rehousing it.
Yeah, so it does make a nice little module about that big, I think.
Gotcha. I think this was my drone track. I did a
formless abyss.
Yeah. I did. So one of the Dreadbox demo videos for, I don't remember if it's actually the Erebus reissue or the version 1 or 2. It's not the version 3. But one of their demo videos, and the guy, is his name Nicholas or something, the main guy, but he did it himself, and it's got 3 outstanding patches, and I recreated those patches, and so 3 of the pieces on my record, the patches come from one of the Erebus demo videos, because the patches sounded so good to me. I mean, I maybe tweaked it a little, maybe I ran it through the CV mixer thing, to add a little spin on it, but they definitely started with those demo patches.
Nice. Were these all totally improvised then? Or did you ever go into a track thinking, this is the mood I want to create or capture? Is that all subconscious?
I mean, I would do, so when an idea would generally start with a patch idea, like a more technical kind of, here's how I want to route stuff, and what features of the synth I want to explore. And then I would jam until a musical kind of thing bubbled up. And then I would do multiple takes sometimes. So it's not purely improvised in the moment. I would have something I was going for and take a few runs at it. And then pick the best one. So sometimes I did, I don't know, I think 3 or 4 takes maybe. Not more than that. Sometimes the idea would be, I knew I wanted a mix of, I wanted a drone, and I wanted a couple of sequence-based pieces, and I wanted a couple of, free play, no tempo, no clock pieces. So I like to make these boxes, kind of, and then fill them in. That saves me from the anxiety of just stepping up to the keyboard with no plan whatsoever.
The fear of a blank page, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly.
And did you come up with the names after the fact, or did you have any names you knew you wanted to use for the tracks?
Yeah, you've seen the working titles in the end of the file names that I shared. But yeah, all the names, the album title, the song titles, all after the fact. I think maybe I maybe took kind of Greek mythology as a jumping off point, because of the Erebus name. And I remember most of the song titles came from it wasn't a Wikipedia page, but it was a page about gods of some mythology. I think Greek mythology maybe. And I some of the phrases I took directly, and some of them I would take two chunks and mash them together, or like switch half of them to make, but it all kind of has that vibe of like mythology, formless void, different things like that.
That's cool and quite timely with the Odyssey coming out.
I had no idea about all that, but I should be working harder at a tie-in of some kind. All right, I think this might be, this is going to be the last one of mine that we do on this week's show. This is Force and Phenomenon. We're about halfway through the record. It's a pretty long single record, or you could call it a double LP length maybe. I don't know. I think it's 65 or 70 minutes in total. Which is, I'm going to ask my listeners for a little credit. That's short by my solo synth record in this mode standards. I'm not a good editor, Matt.
Well, you got 11 tracks into the hour. That's pretty good going.
It's all right. It's not 35 like Only Mostly Dead was.
There's great low end all through the album as well.
Oh yeah, and from having an Erebus, I mean just phenomenal bass. And I can tell like the delay time is just modulating all up and down. That's one of the big modulation destinations in this patch. Flipping the octave switches around. I think where it harmonizes there, I think I'm live playing the key step on top of the sequence. So the sequence has the fundamental. When I'm not playing the keyboard, the two oscillators are in unison or octaves. But yeah, I can interrupt and take that top voice and do a harmony. I remember, the timing was kind of hard. The tempo here is a little slow. There's no click or anything, so just by ear and trying to get that timing right for the harmonies. Some nice filter envelope just whipping up.
It goes from like nice brass to just like super buzzy as well.
I think that might be some filter FM, maybe. Some of that buzz. Yeah, and just like the seasick delay modulation, just going crazy. Oh goodness. Let's see, I have a visitor in the studio. Josie. Josie. Oof.
Oh.
This is Josie. YouTube listeners, you're getting a special appearance from Josie, the tabby cat.
Wow. On the mic as well.
On the mic. Gonna be a star, sweetie babe. It's her supper time, so she wants her food.
What time is it there? About 5-ish, 6-ish or something?
Coming up on 5, yeah. We make her wait till 5 for supper. She'd take it at 4 if we let her. Do you have pets?
No. My partner used to have 2 cats that were like, there was similar colouring to that, called Masha and Kasha.
Oh, I love it.
But I'm quite allergic to cats, so when we moved in together, she agreed to let them stay with a friend that she lived with, you know. So she gets to go and see them twice a week, you know, when she goes to visit a friend.
Yeah, it's my spouse turned me into a cat person, but it was very she had a cat who's since passed on when we got together, but she made it very clear that the cat came first when it came to living arrangements. Yeah, this one gets like pretty kind of evil sounding, but also silly.
It covers a lot of ground tonally, which is impressive for it just being the one synth.
And there you have it. That's Force and Phenomenon off my new Night Mode album, Brother of Aether. You can pick it up now at nightmode.bandcamp.com, streaming free, or of course, I appreciate a purchase if you're so inclined. Matt will be back next week. We're going to listen to some of Matt's music. Anything before we close out, Matt?
No, I just think I enjoyed listening to the album. I gave it 3 or 4 spins before I came on as prep. I think you've done a good job. So I'll just say well done. Give it a listen.
I appreciate the listens, and I know you've got very detailed ears, very detailed brain. So I really appreciate the listen. And listeners, we will catch you next week on Dat Fury Radio.